Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your friend, this is your host and your mentor today with a very beautiful, lovely lady, Janine. So she will introduce herself, but let's talk about her. She is coming with lots of experience working in New York, what's it, NYCERS. You can tell what exactly NYCERS do. And she's a EPMO director, and she's coming with a lot of project program portfolio member experience. And previously, she had done a lot of work for health and safety. Is that correct?
Public safety, yes.
Yeah, public safety. Yeah, you did mention to me. Yeah, so she's coming with a lot of experience and exposure to the project management, program management, and especially EPMO current role. And after passing the PgMP on 2nd of February 2024, she's now more smarter, more powerful. Why not? You know, this certificate gives you extra strength, tonic for you.
Absolutely.
How are you, Janine?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. And I like to appreciate all of you guys, and I see a lot of people are coming again and again. And thank you for coming and listening and learning from these sessions. I mean, I'm trying to bring any expert from the world who is willing to contribute and who will add value to you. So I thought Janine coming with a lot of experience in EPMO. Let's talk about EPMO. Everybody talks about PMO. Very confusing term, PMO, program, project portfolio management, or project management, whatever. So we'll talk all kind of things today. So thank you very much. All right, good. And yeah, you're going to have lots of, what I can tell you, there's a lot of fun and a lot of learning experience today. More pressure on Janine. You have to make this more exciting. Yay! Yeah, so that's my job. Yeah. So Janine, once again, welcome. Would you like to say a few things about yourself?
Sure. So I have been in project management and program management probably for about the last 15 years, mainly working for government entities such as the federal government in the military and now New York City agency government work. So I do enjoy serving the public, and it's always very challenging doing projects for government entities. We have to follow a lot of rules and regulations, and trying to implement technology in when things are moving so fast, it can be very difficult, but I do enjoy it. And right now I am with NYCERS, which is the New York City Employees Retirement System. Just for those of you that don't know what that means, that is what it is.
Employee retirement system.
I'm sorry?
So this is more like employee retirement scheme?
Yes.
System.
Yes. So we do deal with a lot of compliance rules and regulations, as you could probably imagine. There's all different kinds of rules and regulations around retirements. So we're never bored.
Okay, so good. And last time when you were doing the program, you were talking about digital transformation or automation was happening. It's still going on?
Yes, we are actually working on a very complex project because we are transitioning to a more modern system. So it has been very challenging, but also very rewarding at the same time. It is being done in incremental releases. We are currently in our second incremental release. So it's basically a set of requirements, that we meet per phase or increment, I'll say. And like I said, we're in the second piece of that now. So a lot of players involved. So it's very, very challenging, but it's rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, and the good thing is that the program is in the best hands.
Oh, thank you.
Somebody who's PgMP and gone through Dharam's training program.
Yes.
So would you like to talk a little bit about your PgMP journey?
Yes, so my PgMP journey was definitely a challenge. Started that about a year ago. and I do have children, so it's very challenging trying to get some quiet time. But I found Dharam through, I won't say a colleague of mine, but just somebody that I know through LinkedIn. And I was really glad that I took the training course Dharam with you, because you really outlined all of the domains and really explained everything, not just so that I understand it, but also that so when I'm looking at questions and trying to pass an exam, it makes sense, right? And you can really nail down, I'll say, those challenging questions when they try to trick you. So it was extremely helpful. It was challenging for me. The program management certification was definitely, I would say, harder than the project management certification that I did years ago. But it was a good one. Like I said, it challenged me. I studied a lot, probably about 4 months straight, but it was worth it. And I feel more confident in my role also after taking that certification and training. Just learning things, how to do things differently, seeing things from a different perspective, it was extremely helpful.
Yeah. I mean, this certificate is not just for the sake of having 4 letters behind your name. Yeah, of course, that looks good and people appreciate that, but also what you learn from these certificates is very important. And
yes,
when you learn, when you go to the meetings or you're talking to the stakeholders, sponsor, your body language, your facial expression will change because you are more confident now.
yes, I definitely agree with that. And that changed within, like, I want to say, the first couple months of just training for that entire certification. So it was definitely worth it.
Exactly. Good. And so on the 2nd of February 2024 was the day when you go to the exam and send me a message that I passed exam with flying colors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed.
And thank you for contributing to my 500 PgMP. So recently, I say it's a personal milestone, but everybody who ever gone through my program, they contributed to achieve me or help me to achieve my 500 PgMP. So thank you, Janine, for the contribution.
Yes, and honestly, Dharam, thank you, because you're also very patient. And if I had questions, you were always there to just help me out or calm me down, because I did have some moments where I was very stressed, taking practice exams and such. So I really do appreciate that. And it's a very good quality to have. I will say that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And just for the people who are still in the PgMP, and you probably guys know that the recently PMI made some changes, adjustments. I did a video, I think a week before, a webinar. I did a webinar. If you have not joined that and you're looking for the recording, it is available on the YouTube channel. So in this journey, I think I have met more than 200, 220 professionals like Janine, and I've been recording this session from 2015, 16, I think. So it's lots of videos for you to watch and lots of learning. And who knows, you will be sitting here talking to me, just like I think Janine was there. I don't know, you have joined my webinar, I don't know. But anyway, so you may be here, and I can see a lot of my students also joined today. And I don't want to name, but yes, I can see some of the names, very, very familiar names, and I will see you soon here in my where Janine is sitting. All right, great. So my first question is, how can EPMO, Enterprise Project Management Office, be an effective change enabler and play a role in championing and delivering or driving organization business value?
All right. So managing an EPMO for an entire organization can be a very daunting task. Requires careful planning and strategic decision making to ensure that the maximum value is achieved for the organization. First step towards achieving this is establishing some type of process, structured process, for handling your project requests. that would require some key information such as your project description, your risk impact, your value, your benefits, and also ensuring that you identify the alignment with your organizational strategy. Once we receive requests like that within our EPMO, we then present them to a governance committee, which is comprised of our executives responsible for overseeing some key areas within the organization, such as the the IT unit, operations, compliance. And this committee helps the EPMO as well review, approve, and prioritize the projects based on the alignment with our organizational goals. Once a project is approved, the EPMO will take the lead in aligning the project to a portfolio. So within our EPMO, we have several portfolios. It's not just one. And we assign a project manager who will follow either the standard project management lifecycle, or we will follow a software development lifecycle. Depending on the project's criticality, we will come up with some type of an approach, agile approach, focusing on processes that bring the biggest value to the project. EPMO provides regular reporting on project progress to keep leadership and team members informed, and with governance meetings held across the portfolios to help manage risk, issues, and change more effectively. Just want to add that those governance meetings are usually tailored to specific portfolios. It depends on what portfolio we are trying to govern, I'll say. By following this structured approach, the EPMO can navigate the complexities of managing the different projects and programs for the organization and ensure that we have successful outcomes and we maximize the value for the organization.
Perfect. Yeah, maximizing the value for the organization and maximizing the value for the stakeholders. And your stakeholders are more like retirees and public. So that's where it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So now you're going to bring a new system which can have a better planning or better way of giving them the benefits, retirement benefits and all that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, we have a question here. What kind of portfolio do you have in the organization?
That's a great question. So we have a couple different, we have a few different ones actually. We're in the process of potentially creating another one, but we have about 4 right now. One focuses strictly on a big transformation that we're trying to do, which is to modernize our existing platform. That is a portfolio in itself, just due to the complexities, the stakeholders, different contracts and such involved to implement that project, that I'll say program. It's not really a project. We have another portfolio that handles any type of requests coming from different units within our organization. And there's a different governance structure in place for that. We also have what we call a strategic portfolio. And our strategic portfolio sometimes are project requests that come in that specifically align to some of the goals that we are already aware of. And then we also have what we're kind of starting to kick off, which is our compliance and directives. Because we do get a lot of that, there's always different, sometimes laws coming in or changes to plans and such that we need to be aware of. So it's very important that we're assessing the impacts of that. And we started to see a gap where things were kind of falling, I don't know how to explain it, but we would get a project based off of a directive and we found that we were missing a lot of things. So we decided that, it may be best to put some process around that and create a specific portfolio to stay very focused on that, because it's different players within the organization, a little bit different of a process. And it's a little bit time consuming. It depends on sometimes what type of directive we're getting. So that's something new that we're implementing. Then we also have another portfolio that we focus specifically on big divisions within our organization. Such an example of that is our IT division. They are constantly keeping our technology up to date, just to keep the lights on, I'll say, right? So there's lots of activity happening that IT does that doesn't just support a project that we wanted to wrap our arms around. So we have a portfolio that focuses specifically on our big divisions to make sure that we are consistently operating, things are up to date, especially with technology constantly changing, and making sure we're in compliance with all the other software applications and things like that.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Okay, so my next question is, what factors affect the structuring of EPMO and its positioning in the enterprise?
So the positioning of the EPMO within an organization can be influenced by multiple factors, including the organizational culture and the level of support that an EPMO receives from executive leadership. The reason I say the culture of an organization plays a significant role is because it helps how the EPMO manages projects from initiation to completion. Organizations with a higher maturity level in project management is typically easier to work with than organizations that have a lower maturity level. Support from executive leadership is crucial for the EPMO success, as it does provide a green light to implement processes and signals a unified message throughout the organization. So consistency and transparency in communication are key to achieving that success. It enhances clarity, it promotes alignment within the organization. So by considering these factors and fostering a supportive environment, the EPMO can operate more effectively and contribute to an organization's overall success.
Yeah. Okay. Just thinking what else we can. So structuring the EPMO. So is it the EPMO aligned with, and do you have other PMOs as well in your organization?
We don't. So within our EPMO, because we serve the entire organization, that is why we have different types of portfolios. Because it does help us better align across the organization and position ourselves more for success within the organization, right? Because some divisions or units within our organization don't really understand project management. They don't understand, software development and things like that. So we do have to take different approaches and sometimes give them a little bit of a understanding of what we do, right? Because that's also the other factor. It's like we could go to a division within our organization and they may be like, I feel like you're giving me more work. I don't understand what you do, Meanwhile, we're trying to help you kind of coordinate structure and get things in place so that you can successfully finish your work, right? So that's part of it too. So it's not always, like I said, a standard IT project, right? It's a lot of other things too.
Yeah, thank you. I have a question here. Do you use specific software for project prioritization within the portfolio?
Yes, we do. So we do have a platform that we use. Some of you have probably heard of it. It's the PlanView tool. I think it's called PPM Pro, or I don't know. It's had a few different names throughout the years. But that is what we use. And basically, we have created what we call project intake request process. And in that process, it identifies some key things such as like an overall benefit to the organization, what's the risk of not doing something, and all of those things help us as a governance committee, whichever governance committee we're going into, determine how that project will better serve our members or retirees, how it better serves our organization, right? Maybe it's helping us internally do something better. And then we prioritize based off of that.
Yeah. So PlanView, great. There are many other software available in the market. One I'm working with, and it's very powerful, called VXDCC, and it has the good thing is it has all the system together in one platform. Whether you're talking portfolio, program, project management, and your HR management and everything, and looking various factors around the prioritization or categories and help you to prioritize using bubble chart and many other things. So anyway, so if you do need assistance or information about, you know, VXDCC, I can definitely help you with that.
Yes, I just took that down. Interested
Please.
with that.
We can talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you for the question, and keep coming. We are happy with that. All right. How can you ensure your EPMO is evolving constructively in an organization? Is there any map to guide its evolution?
So to ensure an EPMO continues to advance effectively within an organization, it is vital to regularly review your EPMO strategy. The key to success lies in confirming that the EPMO is adding value to the organization by assessing the project alignment with organizational objectives and monitoring your progress towards realizing your project benefits.
Yeah.
As the EPMO director, I do conduct strategic alignment evaluations within the organization biannually, updating leadership on the value that we bring and the progress that we're making towards delivering that. I think the roadmap for evolving the EPMO really does determine who's leading it, and with the primary goal being to provide the maximum value to the organization through collaborative efforts. But I do want to add to that a little bit, because one of the things that I see, or that I stress a lot within my team too, on our strategy, is that we are there to support the organization, and whatever we can do to make that happen and help them is where we want to be. So we're constantly assessing, I don't want to say constantly, but we do meet regularly internally as an EPMO to see how we're aligning to that goal, because to us, that's our EPMO strategy, right? That's what we want to provide to the organization. So we do regularly check in as a team on that, but like I'll say across the organization and leadership wise, we do that biannually with them. And that's usually done through metrics and how are we progressing, and checking to make sure that the benefits that we are providing are still continuing and still providing a benefit, whether it's to the organization or to our members, clients, retirees, things like that.
Yeah. And so what metrics do you have at the moment? Okay.
So right now, this is still a little bit of a work in progress for us, because we are implementing towards a modern solution, which is giving us the capability to better monitor those types of things, right? So reducing wait times, right? That's like one of the biggest things that we're trying to accomplish. And we will do that through monitoring metrics, maybe on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. I don't want to get into too much detail of how that happens, because it's still a work in progress. So, but within the EPMO, we do have metrics where, we monitor benefits, right? So that's something new that we're exploring, is how do you really monitor the benefit? Because you can say, I want to reduce the wait time, but how are we really achieving it, and is it helpful for people, right? So it's not just hitting that target, it's also making sure that the benefit that you're providing to your users or your members is actually successful and you see a difference. And that's the part that sometimes is not always easy to measure. So we're still kind of exploring that and how we do that.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Next question I have, what are the main challenges you see in EPMO operations?
What are the main challenges in
the EPMO options?
I would say the major challenges I think that we are experiencing, I can't speak for all EPMOs, but is really getting people to understand the different roles within the EPMO. So I'm not sure how other organizations work, but within our structure, we do have project managers, we have project coordinators, we have product managers, and we have business analysts, right? So we have a bunch of different roles. And I think when we have projects, and we assign those roles, I think our biggest challenge right now is people understanding that role and what they do, and the purpose that they serve on the project. and how it's going to help them. So I think that's our biggest challenge right now.
So do you don't have clarity of roles and responsibilities?
We do, right? So in the EPMO we do, but it's still, like I said, in our organization, unfortunately, well, I won't say unfortunately, but project management is still very new to them, because project management always used to be embedded in the IT division. So it was very, I don't want to say siloed or closed, like it was closed off, right? A lot of people weren't aware of it. And now that we have expanded into an EPMO, it's very new for a lot of people. So that becomes very challenging when we're trying to get work done, because they're also getting confused of why this person is, why am I meeting with this person every week, right? What is the point? Why are you doing this? And some colleagues and peers within the organization really understand project management, and they appreciate it, right? It's one less thing they have to worry about. You're going to give me your report, I'm going to know what's going on, and everything's getting taken care of, right? We're keeping an eye on that for you. So, but for folks that aren't so aware, it can be challenging at times.
Yeah, especially they don't understand why we need EPMO at all, what they do.
Yes.
They just send a report, bunch of reports, that's it.
Yes, well, they have no idea how challenging it is to make sure we're hitting our targets, though. Like it does require a lot of communication, a lot of collaboration amongst the teams.
Oh, of course. And that's where your job is, to make them aware and educate them.
Yes.
Time to time. Hey, the purpose of EPMO is this. This is how we can help you, make your life easier.
Exactly. And that's like one of our biggest, that's our biggest lift right now, is showing them that. And I will say we've made a lot of progress. You know, I'm very proud of the team. They've made a lot of progress and really see the importance of explaining that to people, you know, because when you're in the EPMO, you're kind of like, how do people not know this, you know? And then they start to see it, you know, they're like, wow, they don't understand what we do. So we're making progress, which is good.
Yeah, don't assume that they know, because just because you know, they know everything.
Exactly. But you'd be surprised how many don't know.
I mean, the people coming from non-project background, they don't understand what project management is all about. They okay, bunch of people running around getting things done. And why do we need them? We can have an EA, executive assistant. She can take care of this. We just have to organize the event, just like event organizers. Now it's more than that, much more than that.
Yes, 100%.
All right, my next question to you is, will an effective EPMO reinforce the transformation culture and change management goals?
Yes, cultivating an effective EPMO can definitely bolster the culture of transformation and the goals of change management over time. But it does require some patience and transparency when you guide them through those principles. This is a challenge, as I just said, I face daily, but one that I absolutely embrace, right? Like it's important for them to understand. Cultivating a culture of change within project management is a complex task, but it is achievable. And one crucial step is to establish strong relationships with your colleagues. This forms the foundation for cultural transformation. I'm living proof of it right now. I'm telling you it works. Demonstrating passion and determination for improvement with your colleagues will get them more engaged and support not just your efforts, but support the entire effort, right? Like, again, EPMO supports an organization. So when you can get their support, you are helping the entire organization. And you're also bridging any existing gaps that you may be experiencing. Navigating change, whether it's projects or personnel, is undeniably challenging. Like I said, it does require patience, it requires process, and definitely requires nurturing of relationships, right? Build those relationships, it's important. Implementing a clear framework around change management can also enhance your success. And then over time, as you approach to change, it starts to become ingrained in your organization. and you'll start to witness a more organic acceptance and implementation of that change. I can tell you I'm living proof. It is happening, but it takes time. It's not going to happen in a month, 2 months. It takes a lot of time, and it also really depends on the size of your organization.
Yeah.
If you have a big organization, it will definitely take some time, for sure. But it's worth it. You know, if you have a passion for it and you really want to see the success happen, build your relationships. That's what makes it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you. And I have another question here. Thank you. Thank you for the questions. So exciting to see so many questions. All right. So does your organization offer any specialized training for project managers and other project management professionals?
Yes. I will say our organization, they love training and they encourage it. They really do, which is such a great thing, because it is important, and they will encourage, you know, if there are skill sets that are missing, they're more than happy to explore it. They don't give us a hard time with that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So your program is supported by, you know, PgMP was supported by your organization.
Yes.
Your colleague, other colleagues also going through the process of going through PgMP. So, I mean, this is good.
Yes.
So yeah, if you need other programs like PMP or PBA, now started PBA as well, RMP as well, scheduling professional. So, how can I get into EPMO?
Okay, I'm trying to understand that question.
So we are assuming that you are already a project manager or program manager. I'm just assuming that. I'm looking at the question and I'm asking your role, what role you are in currently. If you are a project manager, program manager, or something else, if you have nothing.
Okay, so I am the director of the Enterprise Project Management Office. So I do have a team underneath me. And they are phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
But we have basically our structure is broken down by portfolio managers, and those portfolio managers and I work together to kind of make all of this happen. But that's not how I started out. I started out as a program manager on one of our portfolios, and I don't know. I just I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I had some challenging days, but I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to really try to help across the entire organization, and that is how I ended up applying for this position. And now I want to bring that knowledge down to my team, and help them expand and make things better, not just for one portfolio, but for all of them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, good. And thank you for answering. I'm just trying to understand if somebody want to enter in EPMO, and with skill set, and you need to have some project management working knowledge, like understanding about various things within the PMBOK, what PMBOK talks about, and some program management.
Okay. So it's a little more than that. I think you do need leadership trainings. Usually you're already pretty well advanced in your managerial and trainings like that. You're a project manager, so you basically know how to manage people. The leadership part is a little bit different, because you have to be able to you have to know how to handle different types of personalities, dealing with resources, budgeting, strategic, I'll say strategic initiatives or thinking, right? Like you need to be able to expand across a lot of other things. So it's not just having your project management experience and your program management experience, but understanding what you can do for your organization as well, and what you can do for your team to make things better for your team. So there is a little bit more to it than just that.
Yeah. And another question is, how large is your EPMO team?
Our EPMO team right now basically spans across 30 to 40 people right now.
Yeah.
But that's mainly due to the fact that we have a pretty big transformation project happening right now. So that's also factoring into that number.
Good, thank you. I have more questions coming, which is great. Let me take one of the audience question previously sent. And thank you for putting those questions earlier so we can be more prepared for these questions. My question, how an EPMO can enable the adaptation of hybrid methodologies and frameworks covering waterfall, Scrum, Kanban, Scaled Agile, etc.?
Yeah, I thought this was a great question, by the way. It's something that we're adapting to as we speak. I think it really does depend on an organization's maturity level, or the folks that you're dealing with in a project, their maturity level around project management and how it happens. I think it also is dependent upon the tools that you have in place. And such tools that we have that help us when we determine if we want to use more of an agile approach, a Scrum, Kanban type approach. We do have Jira, and we utilize Confluence. So those are the Atlassian products. I don't know if I'm sure most of you are familiar with them. But they are very helpful when we move towards that approach. And we're actually working with PlanView because I know that they also have capabilities of bringing that into the tool as well for some of our smaller projects. The biggest challenge with kind of determining, I guess, or enabling those types of methodologies is your project team, right? Because if your project team can't wrap their arms around that and they don't really understand it, it can be very difficult to adopt that approach. So it's always important that you know your team members and you can educate them on the process and how it works. The more you can do that, the better outcome you'll probably have.
Yeah, great, thank you. Okay, so do you follow any international known framework or approach for your EPMO like CMMI?
International approach? No.
Any framework, anything like that?
Frameworks that we use, like I said, we have our standard PMLC, SDLC, and then we tailor the methodology that we use based upon, like I said, the project team. So it varies across the projects. It depends on the state of the project, right? Like if we need to move quick, we'll implement more of an agile approach. If the team is really struggling with the agile approach, we'll stop. We'll replan and say, okay, this isn't working. We need to adjust, and we need to move towards a different, approach. And unfortunately, sometimes waterfall is more of the way to go when you're in like a low maturity level of project management in the organization, just because it is a little bit easier for them to process and understand and learn, right? That's like the other big thing is giving them time to learn. You need that.
All right. And yeah, my next question is, okay, what are the key differentiators of EPMO and PMO? Can you please elaborate with an example if possible?
Sure. So within my current organization, we were actually originally a PMO. And the big difference there is that we basically just took in projects as they were assigned to us from either a senior manager or executive manager, and we just worked on them, right? It was just whatever we were given. We didn't have much of a say. We didn't have any decision making through the process. And then we made the, I guess, recommendation to the organization to implement an enterprise project management office, because we did start to see a lot of gaps, some projects that were coming in that we didn't have a really good understanding because it spanned across multiple divisions within the organization. Whereas when you're just getting project requests coming in, you really don't have full visibility into really what that request is, right? You're looking at it in a very siloed manner. And because of all the activities, we we moved to an EPMO. Now the difference there is I'm no longer just managing a project team, right? I'm now working closer with executive leadership, right? Understanding really what are the goals that we're trying to achieve, right? And sometimes we do get requests that come from outside our organization. That happens a lot too. So having a better understanding of that, working closer with them to understand where we really need to be and how to make things better for, like I said, our members and our retirees it's important, you know, and like I said, it's not just about the project. It's now understanding what's the benefit that we're going to get and how are we going to make sure we keep hitting that benefit, right? And we make it better. So there's a big difference. And I become part of that decision making, which is to me a great thing. You know, I get to help them make those decisions. So that's the big difference.
Yeah. And, you know, you correctly mentioned EPMO is more to focus on project level, multiple projects, but EPMO becoming more strategic PMO.
Yes.
You're thinking from strategic point, not just tactical running the projects, helping projects. It's more than that.
It's much more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're working with the senior leaders to understand what they're looking for, and you're kind of bridge between what they're looking for and how this can be done.
Yes. So just to add to that example, I do work closely with the C-suite and executives to make all of that happen. So there is a lot more. You know, sometimes these project intakes or the project requests that we get don't really cover what we're trying to achieve as an organization.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. How is change management integrated within the EPMO?
So change management means a couple different things to me. So there's a change management aspect for the organization and the people, and then there's change management as it pertains to projects. So I need a little guidance on which direction I'm trying to focus on here because there's two sides to it.
Yeah, so org level.
Organizational level?
Yeah, organizational change.
Yes. So I can tie in project into that a little bit too. One of our portfolios, which is our transformational, is a very big one, right? So it's changing not only our technology platform, but how we do business. So it's important that the EPMO is understanding that as we're implementing, right? As we're going through the project, capturing, here's the big changes that are happening for our organization. How are we going to introduce that? How are we going to get them up to speed? How do we train them so that they can come in tomorrow and still be confident in what they do and what they know? So that's one example of just that aspect. Helping with change too, just from an organizational standpoint. I am part of those conversations at times where, you know, because there are concerns where like, okay, if we do this, this is going to change things drastically. So we also think about, okay, well, there are new roles that come out of this, right? So there's that piece too, and we can help with that, showing our leadership, like, here's new skill sets that we see coming. So we do help with that as well. And we do that through resource demand and capacity based on projects coming in. We can start to see new skill sets that may be required from, you know, whether we hire or we train, right? And we get those people up to speed. So I hope that answered the question, because we deal with change in very different, you know, there's very different ways that we deal with it.
Yeah. Let me know if there's any follow-up question. Thank you. Thanks, Janine. My next question is, how can we compare EPMO with, say, VMO?
Yes, this is really, this was a great question, because it's actually something that I am exploring with my portfolio managers now. Because one of the things I keep saying to them is technology is moving really fast.
Yeah.
And we don't always have time to spend a month and a half on requirements, or a month putting together a charter and things like that. So how do we move in a fashion where we can keep up with the demands that are coming, right? Because nowadays too, everybody expects like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so's platform does this, and why can't you guys do this? Why is it taking you 6 months to give me this? People don't want to wait anymore, right? People want things quick. So I don't have the answer to this, but I will tell you that we are working collectively as a team to figure this out. And we do have some current projects where we're already in this, right? Like we're learning it as we're moving. And I can tell you what's working for us is that we meet regularly. We have a pretty big issue that we're dealing with. I won't get into the details, but it's a pretty significant issue. We're being hit with it from all different directions, right? And we meet every week, and we strategize with different teams, right? So we have like our IT department, we have our operation department, we have our compliance department, because there's so many different pieces towards achieving this goal. And we do this every week, right? We meet collectively as a team, but we're also meeting daily, where we'll strategize on like, okay, this is the direction we need to go in this week. Let's put these pieces together and let's see what we get, right? And we'll kind of run like a test application and see how it's working. Then we come collectively together as a team and we figure out what's working. So I'm sorry that I don't have an answer because it's still very new for us too. But that is how we are currently dealing with it in 2 projects. And I will say one of our projects just successfully went into production, and it's already showing us some benefits, so it's good. It took us about 6 months to deliver, but it's faster than if we would have done it the traditional project management way. So, like I said, don't have a better answer. It's a little bit of a work in progress for us.
Yeah, but thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Good. And again, I have one more question. Thank you. Great. See, I don't see so many questions in many of the webinars, so you're lucky you're getting so many questions. Yeah. So, do you have any advice for newish EPMOs? Something you know now know, but you did not know at the beginning.
Oh, okay. So something I know now that I didn't know in the beginning.
Some secrets.
A really good question. I've learned a lot in the last year and a half since I've been in this role. I would say in the beginning, it's very important to understand your organization and where they want to be, because when you can understand that, and you can understand the different units or divisions within your organization and what they focus on, and how they contribute to that overall goal, it's helpful. I could tell you in the last probably 6 months, that has been what I'm trying to achieve. So now that I know that there are key pieces to every project, right, no matter what we do,
Yeah.
is aligning myself with those individuals and having conversations and asking them, well, how do you know these things? What's your process, right? And really understanding what your peers do can really help you structure and make the EPMO successful. Again, not just for your own division, but your entire organization, when you can have a really good understanding of what your team members are doing. Your peers, I'll say, not really your team members, your peers.
Yeah. And look, something, you didn't know that PgMP can help you even better.
PgMP helped me with that. I'm going to be honest with you. And it was honestly just through reading things, right, in the book itself, not things that I really learned through the test, right? Because there's things you read and then there's the test. But reading the material and, especially like even around risks and issues, because the book references you back to, Dharam, help me out here, but I think there's a whole risk management certification. I didn't take that, but I believe that to exist. Okay. So it does refer you back to some of the other knowledge, I guess I'll say knowledge areas, right? And reading into that more, I just was like, wow, that really makes sense, and trying to understand, getting to the root problem of things, or understanding how people do what they do every day and why they do what they do every day, can really help you.
Exactly. Yeah. So the key message is do the certificate. PgMP, I think EPMO PfMP will be more suitable.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Whether I take the certification or not, I do want to take the training for it, because I do see a lot of value in it, especially since the way I'm structuring this EPMO is more portfolio based. That's how I'm trying to help the organization.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the training, you will do the certificate, and all will add value. And I can tell you, people who've done the PgMP and PfMP almost together, almost one after other, they have done it much faster, and they are benefiting already.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have any soft corner to PfMP, get it done now. Yeah. Anyway, so anybody who's interested to do any program with me at the moment, I do have a special discount, $100 discount. So let me know. Send me Dharam. I heard that you're talking about this discount. Yeah, send me the discount code. I'm happy to have you in my upcoming PgMP program or PfMP program, even risk management program, PBA program. I announced one PBA program upcoming in I think May. And going to Berlin next week. Yay, Berlin! I'm going to run PfMP program. If you are in the area, I know some of you. If you are in the area, or you can come to the Berlin. You will find very useful that particular program. And I do have lots of programs happening in the US itself. Anyway, enough about me and my program. Thank you, Dharam, for all talks. But thank you, Janine, for your contribution and bringing this knowledge and experience in such a nice way. It was really awesome to get your perspective. And I must say, people, you have been asking questions, and these are very smart questions. Thank you, guys, and love to see you coming back again. And yeah, so I like to see you come back to the future programs, and you may be sitting in front of me. I like to see that Janine is replaced by, and Janine is asking questions at the time. Hey, that will be great.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for having me.
Coming back after doing the class, the webinar like this, I do see them. They're sitting on the side, they're listening. It's not about, there's a lot of knowledge around. That's what I can tell you. There's so many people have a lot to contribute, and I'm so fortunate to interacting with them, and I'm bringing them. They are like you trusting me. Okay, Dharam, I'm with you. I'm going to be part of this 1 hour session. It's not only 1 hour session. You do have to prepare for these questions and be ready for these sessions. So it's a lot of commitment required. But believe it or not, people loving your contribution, and who knows, your grandkids are watching. Hey, in 2024, when my grandma was talking about EPMO, now we are 22nd century. Hopefully, YouTube is still there, and anyway, so all good. But thank you guys for joining, and thank you for your questions. And again, Janine, thank you for your contribution. And I like to thank my team. They work really hard to build or bring all these sessions one after other. I do have session coming up, I think, in 2 weeks' time. And keep watching. And this is with Marco. I think next one is with Marco from Germany. He attended my Frankfurt program, and he actually attended my PfMP program in Berlin. There you go. So you will see me soon. And thank you, guys. Take care. All the best.